Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. It's Tuesday. I know it feels like Monday. It is Tuesday. I hope all of you had a great weekend, a wonderful Memorial Day, and as we honor those that paid the ultimate sacrifice, we can't thank all of those families enough for that, and I hope you had a fantastic weekend. It was a great weekend here in the Valley of the Sun. My wife and I celebrated our 22nd wedding anniversary. It's starting to get up there now. Anything over 20 is a lot. So a happy anniversary to my wife. I definitely got the better end of that deal. I think if she could renegotiate, she probably would. But she takes really good care of me, and so we had a nice time. We didn't do anything special or anything like that. We just hung out together and just spent a lot of quality time over the holiday. Of course, we were closed yesterday. We're back at it today. A lot of things, man. Another major cyber attack, this time on JBS. For those of you know, obviously in Colorado, JBS, the largest beef packer, for lack of a better term, processor in the country. They're in Greeley. They were hit with a ransomware attack. We'll provide the details as we have them. Crude oil exploding higher today. Brent crude approaching $72. NYMEX crude $69. And again, somewhere between 80 to, I wouldn't be surprised. I think we're going to see something close, if not over $100 a barrel before it is all said and done. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. The website at allamericangold.com. Ryan's our web guy. He's our techie guy. He was just in here. The CBD contest is over. Somebody's winning that basket. Ryan says he's going to give me that person's name before the end of the day. So we're going to be calling somebody won that basket out there. Keep buying those CBD products. The My Kind CBD. We are the cheapest. We were, matter of fact, My Kind, they're in like anything else, website being held hostage, if you will. They've actually turned over most of them. We sell it for so much less. We kind of are the new website for My Kind CBD. We're still waiting. We got 2 new items coming. They're at the lab. We're being told. Of course, we've been told any day. But they're going to be here pretty soon. I know one of them is a bath salt, and my wife now a huge CBD lover. She's talked about the retinol cream, which she's been using now for over a month, and she's just like, you know what? It's working. I love it. I'm never going to buy anything else, and it's cheaper than what she was buying. And then, she had some back issues going on, and so she put the salve on. Yeah, that's a big winner. She is excited. I told her about the bath salts. It's going to be a 4,000 milligram CBD product, and mostly because it's in the bathwater, so it'll get diluted a little bit, but it's going to be just incredible. So as soon as that's coming out, but go out to 1360 KHNC, hit the shopping cart button, get your CBD products today, and again, all of that helps the radio station. When we get back, listen, we're going to talk about gold. Is gold going to 4,000? Is gold going to 4,000? I'll tell you why people are going a lot. Matter of fact, go to our website today. People are already starting to lay out the case for $4,000 gold. I'm going to explain to you why they're saying it. So we've got that. We're going to talk about a 40-year cycle in silver maybe getting ready to repeat itself. Which is going to lead to new all-time high in silver prices. And then, of course, the cyber attack on JBS and what it's going to mean for prices. And my wife and I, we were shopping yesterday, and it's incredible the price of things. I actually had the Rev was texting me this weekend, and he sent me a picture of beef with the sticker on it, and it was like a brisket, that made, yeah, I'm going to smoke a brisket for Memorial Day. $166. But if you had your card, it was only $145. I mean, wow. I mean, dog food, dog bones, paper towels, toilet paper, Kleenex, everything is just through the roof. Beef prices, meat prices are really getting expensive, and this is not going to help. So we'll talk about all of those things. JBS is putting a good spin on it, but they are definitely have production ceasing at certain plants. It's not company-wide. It seems like, I know the biggest plant in Canada is down, Australia's down, a bunch of plants in the U.S. are down or shifts have been canceled. This is, again, think about this. They're like 25% of all the beef produced out there. When you think about it, Tyson is the next biggest, then Cargill. They're at like 18%. Tyson's at 22%. So a significant portion. And I'm saying beef. They do all the meats as well. So we'll keep you updated, but don't worry. It's just transitory inflation. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. Welcome to Tuesday, Patriot Radio News Hour. JBS, the latest company. Remember, same thing, took down the pipeline to the East Coast. Remember, the oil pipeline is now forcing the world's largest meat producer to shut down some of the largest slaughterhouses globally. Their beef plant in Canada, one of the largest, was shut down. Slaughter operations in Australia have been halted. So that's all beef, lamb, pork in Australia. Slaughterhouses has been halted. A number of plants in the U.S. have been shut and shifts have been canceled. The prospect of an extensive shutdown is already upending the agriculture markets, prices of beef and stuff falling. Because, hey, if you can't slaughter the animals, you're going to have an increased supply. Livestock futures slumping. Again, now this is funny. So the cows, right, the lambs, right, the price of that will fall. But the price of it actually getting processed is going to go through the roof. And, of course, at the end of the day, the consumer is going to be hit the hardest. They're saying that the producer shut in North America and Australia computer networks on Sunday without commenting on its operations at its plant. JBS says the incident may delay transactions with customers and suppliers. The owners of Pilgrim's Pride has closed a meat processing facility in Utah, Texas, and Wisconsin, has canceled shifts at plants in Iowa and Colorado this morning, according to union officials and employees. Facebook post said that some kill and fabrication shifts in the U.S. have been canceled. So that's kind of what we know on that. We don't really have a whole lot more detail. JBS is saying that backup servers were not affected. Hopefully that will mean that they can get back up quicker. But as of right now, it seems like the closures are starting to grow. So we'll keep you posted if there's any updates to that. I'll let you know. But right now, JBS, the world's largest meat processor, also they provide more meat in the U.S. than any other producer. Them and Tyson, they're 1 and 2. Between the two of them, almost half of all meat production comes from those two companies. So you can imagine what it's going to do to the supply chain if this continues. So let's hope it goes quickly. Let's hope it goes quickly. And again, just one more thing about this new digital age. Just gives you the heebie-jeebies, right? If they can get into places like Colonial Pipeline, JBS, what happens when we go to the digital money? Can they get there too? Probably, right? That's I don't know. Call me crazy. So right now, gold just went positive for the day. 1903. Silver's up 12, $20.14. As people are starting to say, hey, what's the next move? And again, we're watching that 1891 level. Gold actually retested 1891 this morning. Perfect, beautiful. That's exactly what we want to see as it continues to set higher highs and higher lows. Today, it's been as high, by the way, as $1,916. But now people are starting to say, hey, look for $4,000 gold. Are they right? I mean, the highest gold close is $2,067. That was August of last year. So what I did is I went back and I just jotted down some numbers because remember, everything now, we talk a lot about computers. Computers drive everything. Algorithms, right? They write this code and there's not nearly the amount of human emotion, if you will, in a lot of these trades, and you'll see things very technical. Like today, we saw another new high in gold, and they're like, hey, wait a minute. Let's make sure we retest this new higher low. And gold goes all the way from 1916 to 1891, just boom, in a matter of 15 minutes. Now all of a sudden it's back to 1903 and rising. All computers. That's what they like to do, right? And they like to give themselves their own validation. But when gold first went to a new all-time high, so think about gold was $800 an ounce in 1981, and Paul Volcker, the Fed, we all know that story. And the Fed tricked us into saying, hey, we can control this stuff by raising and lowering interest rates. And especially as long as the debt doesn't get too big. And they convinced us, hey, a little bit of debt's okay. It's okay. We have a little bit of debt. And they started devaluing the money. And I told the story last week, remember, they had all these central banks selling their gold in the 90s. But that all came to a stop, didn't it? After the financial crisis. When we realized, guess what? The Fed really can't control anything. They pretend, but they really don't. And they've got to invent all these new tools that make no sense. But it was actually March of 2008 when gold peaked. It took out its old all-time high of $800, and it went all the way to $1,050. Then, and this is very interesting. So think about this. So it goes from 800 to 1,050, about $250. Okay. Then, from March of 08 to October of 08, 7 months, it goes from that 1,050 to $700. Right? That was, once again, remember, the same thing. The Fed, we fixed it. It's going to be fine. Don't worry. All of this quantitative easing, the banks aren't going to go under. We got it. And then from October of 2008 till August of 2011, 3 years, gold went to $1,900. So, okay, what does that mean? Well, let's look at what happened to this time around. So we took out the all-time high. And again, I said, 2067 was the high close, right, from about 1900. And the similarities are very simple. Really, it wasn't even 19, about $1,887, but about $200 higher, the new all-time high. 2,100 interday, $2,100. Where the last time about $250, pretty close. That was August of 2020. Here's what's funny. Gold bottoms in March of 2021 at $1,670. That's exactly 7 months. Just like the last time. And now, of course, gold is starting its rise. All the charts are saying, okay, we're getting ready for the new all-time highs, right? All the story about the central bank having it under control, right? Remember, this is why did gold fall? Because, hey, we printed all this money, but it's not going to create inflation. We're okay. Now nobody believes that. Now the question is how bad is it really going to be? But again, computers they love patterns. So if this pattern holds true, right? You look at gold around $2,100. You had 1,900, 1,050 was the old high. That was a 80% gain the last time around. And if you do that there, it puts gold at about $3,780 in the next 3 years, which is close enough. You know what? They'll probably run it to $4,000. But that's how they're getting there. How are they saying, hey, how is it getting to $4,000? And what they're saying is, well, this is going to be the pattern. Here's the pattern that we're seeing in gold now. That the central bank have lost control. Right? Remember, they gave the benefit of the doubt in the 80s and the 90s, right? The central bank had about 20 years, didn't they? About 20 years where people truly believed what they were saying. By after 9/11, things started to unravel, didn't they? Alan Greenspan brought rates down, remember, to 1%. It wasn't even there for a year. And then they said, well, that was the reason for the housing boom. Of course, it wasn't. We found out later the reason was bad lending practices by the banks, who coincidentally were being overseen by the Federal Reserve. Now we've had rates at zero essentially for 15 years or so. The Fed keeps talking about we've got all these new tools, this tool and that tool. We can do this and we can do that. We're blowing up our balance sheet and they're saying go big. And all of a sudden now we're seeing the gold markets react in a very patterned way. Right? We saw it during the last crisis. Right? When you think about it, gold didn't start moving really significantly higher until afterwards. Right? It hit an all-time high, right, March of 2008. That was kind of the crisis was in its full throes. Then it takes the next 7 months while the crisis is still going on and goes backwards. Because the central bank is saying, oh, don't worry, we got these tools and it's going to be fine. Then, of course, they say, whoop, not fine, bam. From 700 to 1900. I mean, think about it. Really, if you take it, I'm taking it from 1,050. If you take it from 700, and then we're talking, what, gold near 6,000. And you start looking this time around. Okay, so here comes the next crisis. Right, here comes COVID. Right, we see all the old tricks being played. Blowing up of the balance sheet, right? Debts everywhere. Rates, remember rates barely got above zero there for a minute, right? Back down to zero. All of these same tricks. Now, the crisis is over. I mean, right? We're back open. Now the big move. That's what's coming. God be darned. 800-951-0592. Australia says the start of gold production in the first quarter of 2021, not good. Off to a very slow start, down almost 5% from the first quarter of 2020. And again, I think you're going to hear a lot about this. Australia, I think they're the number 2 gold producer now, behind the Chinese. Chinese gold production down closer to 10%, with Australia saying, hey, we're down almost 5%. Then you factor in the dollar, cross-border capital day, looking for the dollar to fall another 20%. That'll put the dollar at new all-time lows. Right now, the dollar barely above 89, under pressure. The Treasury, it's official now, the central bank is now the largest single holder of U.S. debt in the world. They own more treasuries than all foreign governments combined. And they like to view the foreign governments as one. I don't know why, but they do. Foreign governments own about 26% of our debt. The central bank now owns 28%, and that number continues to increase. And I think this is why you're seeing all the pressure on the dollar, and we're stuck in this horrible inflationary cycle that they really can't stop. And this is why you need to continue to add to that portfolio, and why you're seeing all these central banks do it. I mean, let's face it, we talked about the announcement from the Mint on Friday about, hey, you know what, we were doing a 100th anniversary on peace in Morgan dollars. That's off. Can't keep up with demand. We bought 27 half-ounce gold eagles out of an IRA. And, like everything else, everything takes forever. They finally got here. And I've looked everywhere because you can't get it. When we talk about it, their stuff's not, I took 10th-ounce gold eagles. I just took them off our website. You can't get them. So I'm thinking, what would I price these at? Trying to get an idea, because we don't sell a lot of gold eagles. You can't get gold eagles. So I went looking. I went to the top 8 sites in the country, high volume guys that sell gold eagles. 6 of the 8 didn't have any in stock. They had a price, but then said, alert me, we don't have any. So the price was meaningless. The 2 that had some, the cheapest price I saw, this is a half-ounce American gold eagle, was $1,224. That was the cheapest I saw. The other one wanted $1,477. I've got 27. These are half-ounce American Gold Eagles. They had there are a variety of dates. I saw some 06s. I saw some 2011s. You know, they're not 2021s, but these are older. But in the mid 2000s. I'm going to be the cheapest in the country, and I'm going to be the cheapest in the country by a lot. But again, I only have 27. They're physically here in Phoenix, but we'll ship them up to Colorado if need be. 27 half-ounce American Gold Eagles. On the Gold Eagles, a half ounce is a $25. They got to give it a value, but it's a half ounce of gold, $1,050. So the cheapest I saw was $1,224, $1,050. That's $174 less than the cheapest I could find. I've only got 27. They will not be on the website, so you are going to have to call 800-951-0592. If you've never ordered from us before, I promise you it's the easiest thing you're going to do. By the way, we've only got one line open, so hurry up. Just say, now we got two. Just say to the girls, I want the special. That's all you need to say. And then and they'll tell you how many we got left. And you just, I want one, I want five, I want whatever you've got left. That's it. There's no bait and switch. There's no upsells. If you want to come and pick them up right now, if you're in Arizona, you can come and get them, pay for them, and take them with you. 800-951-0592. And as all of you know, listen, we don't play games here. There's no bait and switch. We're not going to try to talk you out of it into some, high price coin. We don't do that here. We don't take phone numbers unless we need to call you to come pick it up or something like that. But we don't call. We don't make outbound phone calls. You will not get an unsolicited phone call from us. The last time I did a mailer, I don't know, 10 years ago. It's been a long, probably maybe it's 7 years ago. I don't know. We don't really do that. If you want to get a hold of us, you call us, and people tend to like that. And we don't sell our client deck to anybody. We don't give it out to anybody. We don't do any of those things. The exact opposite way of how you should run a sales company is how we do it here at Patriot. 800-951-0592. Once again, the cheapest price that I could find. Nobody has them. Nobody has them. The mints can't keep up. These are the half-ounce American Gold Eagles. They're $1,050. Think about the $10 Liberties, right? The half-ounce, the older, the pre-33s. They're at $1,095, so you're saving $45. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's the second best option out there at 800-951-0592. Like I said, gold's up $1 now. 1903, 1904. I think Kitco's got it down $4, but the price is still the same at 800-951-0592. When we get back, I'm going to save the silver article. We'll talk about silver tomorrow because it's something, it's a little more complicated, but they're talking about this pattern in silver in the silver to gold ratio and what that could mean for the silver price. I'll do that tomorrow. When we get back, we're going to talk about U.S. lawmakers now wanting to introduce a bill about the new digital currency. Even Congress knows it's coming. So I'll update you on that as well. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour, the cheapest ounce of gold I have. If you bought two of these half-ounce Gold Eagles, that'd be $2,100. That's about $85 an ounce, less than a 20. That's a lot. So take them. 800-951-0592. Half-ounce Gold Eagles. We started with 27. We're about halfway through that. So we still got some left. We still got 3 lines open. 800-951-0592. Things are getting really, really creepy. Listen, The Fed we should end. There's no doubt about it. They aren't doing what we wanted them to do, which was oversee and make sure our banking system was safe. They put us all in jeopardy. Everybody knows it. But unfortunately, the bankers are powerful, right? And they've got the stock market billionaires and all that stuff. A pair of U.S. congressmen introducing a bill. And this is bipartisan, by the way, so that kind of is unusual. They want this bill to require the Treasury Department to evaluate the digital renminbi, the digital dollar, and the actual dollar's role in the global economy. Shouldn't we already be doing this? Right? Because shouldn't our elected officials know the dollar dominance is falling? They're saying that this bill is to seek to ensure the dollar remains the world's reserve currency and directs the Treasury Department to publish reports that evaluate current policy and governance around the currency. This report would include details around the central bank digital currencies, among other issues. Under the terms of the bill, which is called the 21st Century Dollar Act, right? That's always two lines open. Always, right? Hey, we got to get with the new times. It's the 21st century now, right? Just letting you know, digital dollar is coming. Think about what I just said about gold. Why are people now saying 4,000? Well, it's simple. Gold has come through, broke all the, and I've educated you the whole way here. Listen, gold's going to go to 1950, breaks 1950. We're going to new all-time highs. The Fed promised they fixed everything, and here's what they did. They printed a whole bunch of money, created a whole bunch of debt. Janet Yellen, the most evil person of all time with her liberal policies, believes in giving everybody money for nothing. And says, well, it's okay because money's cheap right now. Excuse me? What are you trying to say? That what I'm working for is not worth working for? And that's what she's saying. And now a few smart people in Congress are going, you know what? This is going to cause a problem. And they want they want Janet Yellen to submit a report to the Senate Banking and House Financial Services Committees, including a description of efforts by major foreign central banks, including the People's Bank of China, to create an official digital currency. Listen, this is what it's all about. It's between us and them. And make no mistake about it. Look at COVID. Tells you all you need to know about the Chinese. They want to win. They want to win. Period. The report would update the committee on the Federal Reserve's current status in their research development of the digital dollar. Well, listen, we already know they're making a major announcement this summer. We already know that they're going to launch 5 different testing programs. The bill will also require the Treasury Department to develop strategies for boosting the dollar's reserve status. I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. What could they possibly say? Balance the budget? I don't know. Not go into debt? Right? I don't know. Maybe run a budget surplus? None of that's going to happen. The report would also detail any implications for strategies established by the Secretary pursuant to subsection A, arising from the relative state of development of an official digital currency by the United States and or other nations, including the People's Republic of China. Keeping the world's reserve currency as the dollar, it would be good for American companies and workers as well as the U.S. global influence. Congress and policymakers need to understand the risk posed to the dollar, especially as it relates to the renminbi, to ensure the safety and preeminence of the dollar. Let me tell you what's going to happen. We need to save the dollar. That's going to be the pitch. We need to save the dollar. How can we save the dollar? And we're going to have Janet Yellen or Jay Powell or Lael Bernard, whoever it may be, saying we need to go to a digital dollar. That's what's going to save it. Because if we don't, we're going to get passed. And of course, the whole time, the only reason why this is even happening is because of the ridiculousness of their policies. Right? We know. They've warned us. They used to tell us all the time, hey, we can control things with interest rates. No, they can't. Right? If anything, the last 15 years has proven they have no control. The only solution they ever have, and it's always been the same one: print more money. Guess what? All that money printing is finally caught up to us. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Gold's 1904. Silver 28.15. Crude oil off the crude oil got to $69. Just below $68 right now. The S&P and the NASDAQ have gone negative. The Dow looks like it may go negative. Right now up only 50. It was up 200 points this morning. Word out now that the official Fed's funds rate, remember, it's between 0 and 0.25. It had been at 0.1% for quite a while. But now we're hearing about these banks. They've got this money. They don't want to buy treasuries. And they're parking hundreds of billions of dollars at the Fed every night. The new rate as of this morning, 0.05. So 5/100ths away from zero. As more and more banks, and this is the problem, they're making a decision that says, you know what? We got a problem. The dollar keeps falling. The 10-year note sitting at 1.6. And inflation, even your managed number, which, by the way, we're going to get a new number in 2 weeks. People are saying it's going to be 4%. That'll be the core number, which would be double what they told us they wanted inflation to be, which really, and we know really it's going to be what? They can say 4%, but that probably means what, 12 or 13%. And things like JBS today don't help. And banks are saying, you know what? Yeah, we can't recommend this. Can't recommend buying treasuries to clients. There's not enough housing. We got this money. We don't want to loan it out. These rates, why would I do that? Why would I lock up something for, 1% or 1.5% or, 1.89% for 30 years if you're saying inflation's 4% and we all know it's 12%? And this is why, you got people out saying, hey, get ready. We think the dollar's heading down another 20%. That'd put the dollar about 71 basis points. Right, that's right at the all-time low. I don't think it holds that. That's the problem. It's got to go lower than that. The problem is, as the dollar falls, prices go up. Right? As the dollar falls, prices go up. And look at, they already said we want a $6 trillion budget. And that's just the starting number. And by the way, they say, hey, by the way, that needs to go up every year. Right? By 2030, we want that budget to be $8 trillion, $9 trillion, $10 trillion. And this is why they're getting ready now. This is why you're seeing Congress passing rules about a digital dollar and all this stuff. It's coming, believe me. And they're going to say we need to go to it to save the dollar, to save its role as the world's reserve currency. And if we don't, right, it's going to get even worse. And that's the guys they're going to use. The last report I got from Brooke, we still had 10 half-ounce gold eagles left. They won't make it through the day. Listen, they're $1,050. It's the cheapest price because nobody has them, but it's $176 cheaper than the cheapest place I can find. Half-ounce gold eagles, $1,050 at 800-951-0592. God bless everybody. We'll be back on a hump day tomorrow.